Good morning. I hope you're doing well, and welcome to today's edition of the 600 Seconds of Trading with me, Alejandro Zambrano. In this presentation, we're going to take a look at currencies and markets like the Eurodollar, Bitcoin, crude oil, gold, and the DAX 30. These are, in essence, the most traded markets in the world, really. That's really where most of the people focus if they're trading, that is. And live today as well, we are on Periscope. And if you're totally new to all of this, my name is Alejandro Zambrano. I'm the Chief Market Analyst with TradeCaptain.com based in London, and also the head of the research department at Amana Capital in London. So this is our website, TradeCaptain.com, and usually at this time, well, actually a little bit earlier, so at 9 a.m. London time, we do this episode, which is called 600 Seconds of Trading, where we, in less than 10 minutes, provide you guys with a quick update on what's going on in all these key markets I just mentioned. Now, before we start, as always, I need to stress that trading financial markets is unfortunately risky, and there's a genuine risk that you lose more than your invested money. So please bear that in mind before you start trading. As well, I am going to provide you guys with my view on the market, and my own and my personal view on the market. And while I've been doing this since 2006, and I know a great deal about it, doesn't mean that just because I think the market is going to go up, that it should go up. Or if I think it's going to go down, that it should go down. So you need to bear that in mind and always make sure that you manage your risk in a good way. So let's get going, and let's begin. We'll begin with the euro. So this is the euro versus the USD on a 1-hour chart. And on Friday we said that, if we took out this high here, this market could head a little bit higher, which it did. Now, I wasn't actually anticipating this to push up directly as it did, but it went up to 119 and then touched 119.44 on Friday last week. And now the market is trending sideways. There's not too much happening in today's session, but it did try to push up above 119.50. Now the next resistance level and potential target of traders is the 120.06 level, which is a high here created on the 22nd of September. I think that is the next target. However, though, when traders trade, they try to get in at good levels to make sure that they don't get stung, because the Eurodollar is not like Bitcoin where you just buy Bitcoin and then eventually just heads up higher. Here is a market that does tend to pull back. So with that in mind, I just took a simple Fibonacci from the low to this high here, and if we look at it from this perspective, the ideal entry is probably close to the breakout level. So we're looking at maybe 1860 or something like that. So somewhere down here, I think traders are going to be more interested to go along, and I think the market is going to be bullish as long as you trade above 1760. Now I'm working with 1760 today because it's a level below the 15-day EMA, but it's not the latest low. If we're gonna stick to like pure trend following rules, then stop loss levels needs to go below 1710. But I think we can afford to put it a little bit higher and should hopefully not get any major issues. You could potentially also just leave it maybe here at 1733, so you have an actual low here. So the idea here from a risk reward perspective is the following. We risk about 128 pips, and if we go up, we make about 141. So that is a positive risk reward ratio. On the other hand, if we buy right now, we might go up and make 74 pip, but at the same time we'll expose ourselves to a potential risk of 195, and that's not a good risk reward ratio. So that's why I'm not saying that people will book profits up here, but it's not the ideal and to go along. I think that's lower levels. Now let's quickly move on here to Bitcoin. So this is Bitcoin, and as you know, we had very good success here. And it's not a market that is too difficult to trade many times if you follow a trend following system the way I do. And obviously, I guess maybe with my experience, it just turns out to be even easier. The reason why I say it's easier because it always goes up. You buy it and eventually you wait long enough, it'll be back up again. In my case here, the last setup I shared with you guys, because it was trading up here, right? And we said, look, to go long on a pullback, and it took a few days. And on November 24th, it hit 17,907. So we got a perfect entry here. And then I said, let it go up here and then push to the upside. And I was just looking for 8,800, but the market is pretty much moved all the way up to 9,728. And I think here what's going to happen in the next few days is it's probably going to try to target this high here at 10,000. It's a psychological level. It will be a victory for people that have been betting on this for quite some time. And these big levels are like magnetical levels. And I think that's really where market is heading towards. Now, if we want to trade this successfully, though, again, this is not the time to go long. The time to go long was down here. If anything, this is the time to take some short-term profits in this market and then wait for some sort of a pullback. Now, I'm going to remain bullish as long as I trade above 76.64, which is this level down here, which is slightly below these levels we looked at last week. And then here's your 4-day EMA. And you can also take a Fibonacci from this low here to this high. And this gives you these various levels. You have as well the 4-day EMA down here. So the first fib, so 4-day EMA, first fib. So I think down here, probably a 50% pullback, a little bit more, a little bit less. So I will look at maybe 18, 9, 11, and then for this to potentially head up to the high again, doing something like this. And that is my outlook for Bitcoin for now. So down and then up. Here's the price of gold. Gold is in trading in this sort of bullish channel. And let me just hide some of the moving averages here to make it more clear what we're dealing with here. So this is Bitcoin, and let's even switch to a 4-hour chart so we can actually see what we're doing. So you see, it is in this sort of bullish channel. Now, I'm not a big fan of this sort of price action because it's just up and down too much. And I've been tricked once to get involved and go long, and then the whole thing tumbled and got stopped out. So I'm not really that interested into getting involved here. I think we might need some more time for price to figure out what it wants to do. But if you do want to trade it, then you need to be aware that there is some sort of a bullish bias to it. And maybe down from these lows, traders might look to go long around 1280, and then maybe for this to go up. And I guess as long as you're above 1269, I'm gonna be bullish, and I'll assume this channel can go up. But it's very not a stable system right now. Now here's the German DAX, and it's looking really well for us here as well. I mean, we said this a few days ago. The market was going down, and I said if we take out the high, this could break to the upside, right? And it did, and then it pulled back as it usually does, and went down. And at one point, it's almost challenging our stop level, but then it pushed up, back into profit. And then back to the buy zone again, and now back into profit. Does this have to work out? Definitely not. But I suspect that as long as you trade about 12,850, this market could head up to the high, take out the high, potentially move to the upside. On the other hand, if something really bad happens, we might take out the low here, and at that point, this market could potentially continue to head down lower, maybe hit something like 12,652. Actually, let's not save that. Let's take a look at crude. So this is crude oil, and crude oil, really bullish as well. But we're starting to see some sort of a pullback. This is West Texas. The market moved up strongly a few days ago and continued to move up higher on Friday. But now, since the beginning of the week, you're seeing a little bit of a bearish bias. So you're seeing some stabilization, some more profit taking, which would be make perfect sense because the market bottomed out, took out the high. So it's a strong and nice move. Now, I suspect here either it's going to trade sideways, and then maybe in a few days or so, after trade sideways like it did like this, we might go long in the breakout. The alternative is that price actually goes back down, say 50% pullback. Simple fib from the low to the high, 50% pullback, and then from these levels, looking to head up higher. And that, guys, concludes today's free market update. We're usually live at 9 a.m. London time at the live trading room channel. You just need to go to tradecaptain.com and click on live trading room. I also suggest that you subscribe to us on YouTube. Very straightforward. There should be like a little icon. You can barely see it. I mean, you can see that it says subscribe now, but there should be a little link there so you can subscribe to us on YouTube. Why? And especially if you're on Periscope. Well, because we don't always broadcast live on Periscope. We primarily do things on YouTube. So if you do like these kind of things, just go to our channel and go to, I guess the easiest is just go to Trade Captain, Live Trading Room, click here, and then you just subscribe. So again, join me tomorrow at 9 a.m. London time, and we'll do these updates 9 a.m. London time, unless I'm traveling. Something which I will be doing by the end of next week, well, when I'm going to China for a Forex Expo. So it's gonna be a few days when I'm off, but that's gonna be on most likely on Wednesday and Thursday and Friday next week. But the rest of this week, I'll be live here at 9 a.m. London time. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. Please retweet, please share. The more you care, or the more you share, the more we care. Thanks.